Hello, everyone at the Hillcrest Baptist.
Hi everyone.
I'm Mitch,
I am King.
and we'd like to share with you a little bit about ourselves. Some of you might not know us so well. We've been away serving in Thailand with Tandem Ministries for so long. So, King, you want to tell them how you became a Christian?
Yeah, I became a Christian when I was in my first year at university. I went to the Christian kind of like Christian organized English camp, and then there someone shared with me the four spiritual laws. And then later on, I became a Christian and then joined the discipleship group. And then after I graduated from university, I decided to serve God full time with Campus Crusade for Christ.
And I came back to the Lord at university at Victoria in New Zealand, and in my first year with Campus Crusade for Christ, they showed a video in my dormitory how to get better grades and have more fun. And then I also, instead of doing a law career, I joined staff with Campus Crusade for Christ, or Tandem Ministries as it's now called in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. So we'd like to share with you, we've been in Thailand for 20 odd or more years now, and we'd like to share with you why God has led us back on furlough just these past few months. We are currently in Auckland in MIQ. We've just arrived back. Yeah, so in April this year, my father had a stroke, and then he had a second stroke in May, and Thailand had also had a lot of COVID cases, right? And our boys were studying online anyway, and we thought, how are we going to get them? We hope that we can get them back to New Zealand in time for enrolment at Rangitoto College, because we want them to follow their sister, to study their last year at high school in a New Zealand college before going to university in New Zealand. Yeah. So the first couple of months, as we were thinking about coming back to New Zealand, God gave us these verses. In Leviticus chapter 25, it said, return to your clan for your 25th Jubilee year. And I just happened to be 50 this year. And in Isaiah 43:5, in my quiet time, I felt like God speaking to me saying, do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bring your children from the east and gather you from the west. And Mesa's here in New Zealand, which we could say is the west, and we were in the east, or vice versa. And also in Isaiah 43:19, I'm sure many of you know this verse. See, I am doing a new thing. I am making a way in the desert. And so when doubts arose in my mind in July as COVID numbers in Thailand were rising to 10,000 plus cases per day, and it cancelled our domestic flights, God gave me another verse in Numbers 11:23. Is the Lord's arm short to do anything? Of course not. So after a few days, we broached the idea with my father, and who were very keen for us to return, right? And then on Monday, we looked up MIQ calendar, and there was
some slot for us,
for
the four of us.
Yeah, on August the 20th. And so, but I read that, you have to book your flights within 2 days. So we quickly searched, and the only flight going, MIQ flight, flying into New Zealand was from Tokyo. And so we had to also find a flight to Tokyo from Bangkok, which we did. And the other issue that we had to overcome was the cost is quite high, and we wouldn't have been able to pay for it unless we broke into our savings account. So praise God that someone offered to pay for our flights back. So we were able to book flights within our MIQ slot within 48 hours. And that was a wee miracle in itself, eh? Yeah.
And we also have to ask for permission from our boss in Thailand, as well as to come over here.
We got that within 48 hours too, didn't we? Yep. So after we booked the MIQ, I noticed there were after 2 days or 1 day, there were no slots available until mid-November. So we just thought, wow, that was amazing that we got that slot. And then we realized that
my passport Thai passport
was expiring at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which had her New Zealand permanent residency visa in, and so we thought, we need to renew that before we go. But will it be ready by the time we fly out of Thailand?
Time, so in time.
What happened?
So I went to renew my my new Thai passport, and then we kind of like had investigated all the information from the embassy in
Bangkok,
and then we found out that we can transfer my permanent residency visa into my new passport electronically.
Yeah, right? We didn't. Yeah, so we didn't have to send the passport back to New Zealand, and it would only take 2 or 3 weeks, and of course it was a lot cheaper. Yeah, we also found homes for our cat and rabbit.
Yep. Yeah. That was a big deal for me and my boys, because we care for our pets. So it was an answer praise, a little thing.
Yeah, so our neighbours and a friend are looking after that at the moment. August the 20th was the day that we were flying out, but it was also the only day that I could renew my visa and my work permit and my re-entry visa. Because that was the earliest I could renew it, sorry.
Yeah. And so instead of taking the whole day to renew all those things, he ended up spending only half a day, right?
Yeah,
to finish everything.
Yeah, so that was really great. And in mid-July, the boys our children, 2 sons, Amos and Mikey, made a decision of faith to leave their school in Thailand halfway through the year.
The first term.
Yeah, the first term.
Yeah, semester.
Having faith that we will definitely go to New Zealand, which was a little bit tough for me, because I thought, well, if our flights get cancelled because of COVID, then they would have to start a whole new school year again.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be able to continue this year, so they would have mucked up their study. So that was a step of faith that they took. That
all of us really.
Yeah.
And then something happened on the 21st of July.
I shouldn't really tell them, should I? I went for my first vaccine. It was the Chinese Sinovac vaccine, which is just a normal antibody, dead COVID. And basically I more than fainted. My heart went down to 38 beats per minute, and 3 times. And they put me into accident and emergency in the hospital because, they weren't sure of how my body was reacting to it. So that was rather exciting. So I haven't had the second vaccine yet, and my wife won't let me at the moment. It was quite scary. I thought I was going to die. On July 29, the COVID numbers in Thailand were up to 20,000 new cases per
Each
day.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I was discipling just had like a positive premonition that we would certainly make it to New Zealand, like he had a vision. And then 2 weeks before we flew out, I had to get permission from the police station in our province to leave our province because it was in lockdown. And when I was at the police station, there were people standing so close to me, and I thought, well, if there's ever a chance that I'll catch COVID, it's now, because they're standing around me.
Talking away.
And that night at 10:30 p.m, I woke up with a raging fever, and I was freaking out. Oh, have I got COVID? But thanks to God, our organisation had sent the rapid antigen self-test kits, and in the morning I tested myself, putting the a swab up my nose and the back of the throat. And within 20 minutes, I found I had a negative result. So praise God for that. And but I still had a fever for 24 hours before it disappeared. But the following day, I could run 5Ks and I was back to normal. So that was a scare. But praise God, we were able to leave our province and drive up to Bangkok on the 17th and 18th. It took 2 days. And then in Bangkok,
we had to get a COVID test, in order to get the certificate to prove to the airline and that we are able to fly to New Zealand.
Yeah, so we had to go to a hospital in Bangkok where there were 5,000 new cases every day. Not at the hospital, but I mean in Bangkok. And everything depended on those test results. So we got the test results on the Friday the 20th, August the 20th, and we're all negative. And so we flew out of New Zealand, and praise God, we got all the flights were on. Nothing delayed. Smooth. But when we got the immigration in New Zealand,
that's when we passed to all the the days of the immigration official, and then we come to the last days that we to get to the bus to come to the hotel, and then what happened was that we lost one of the passport, one of Amos's passport.
We couldn't find it anywhere, and so we're looking through his bag and through his pockets, and so I just said, okay, let's stop and pray. We can't find it. And within 30 seconds of doing that, a lady said, oh, what's wrong? And we said, we can't find his passport. And then a policeman was walking back and says, he was holding up a passport. He dropped it upstairs. But thank God that he, just helped us, remind us that there's nothing we can do. That he was the one who brought us back to New Zealand and carried us back and led us step by step of the way. And so, we just wanted to share that little story with you. And all our COVID tests here in MIQ have been negative. So we really know that God has led us back here to New Zealand to serve and help my father through his strokes and his rehabilitation now that he's out of hospital. But we just found out when the first weekend we're here at MIQ that he has cancer on his ankle, which is invasive, so please be praying for him. We hope to come down to Hamilton early in the new year. We want to focus on really helping Dad on these first 4 months. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you and a motivation for you to pray through every little detail in your life, every little decision. God will lead you and guide you. And when he does, man, you can do miracles.
Yeah.
God bless you all.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.